Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday Talks with Miss Clark, LMSW at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you have none other than your hostess with the mostest, Michelle D. Clark. That is me. I am the mindset management coach for professional women with Live Nation, where we are empowering women to live inspired, free, and transformed. And tonight, I'm telling you, we have some fantastic guests that will be on here this evening. Now, I know you guys are noticing something a little bit different here. So, first of all, of course, I'm not wearing the yellow, and that's a little something uncustomary. And that's because today is the last Tuesday of October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So, I am toting my pink in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month for the last day of this month, of Tuesday. So I definitely have to get that out there. And of course, you notice something different about my background as well. So it's giving a little bit away about some of the things that we have that's going to be coming up on the horizon here shortly. So before we get started, I just want to give you guys the rundown of the show, right? So normally we come out and I welcome everybody. So make sure that you either, if you have not already registered with StreamYard, that is okay. Wherever you're watching from, whether it is from Facebook, if it is live on YouTube, or if it is on LinkedIn. Make sure that you type your name in the chat if you have any questions or comments, so that way we can give you a proper shout out. In addition to that, usually I start off with a fun fact or some sort of interesting facts about the topic, and then we go right on into the topic. And then we have rapid fire AMA, which is Ask Miss Clark Anything. No, it's not against medical advice, and it's not American Music Awards. It is Ask Miss Clark Anything. Now, because we have some fantastic guests that's going to be on here. We're going to do something a little bit different tonight. So I hope you guys are in for a little bit of change up. And if you're not, then we're going to do it anyways. So you might as well go ahead and get ready, right? So, and what do they say? Change stands for choose happiness and never give excuses. That's choose happiness and never give excuses. So change, it can be a good thing. So for those of you in the back or who is running to go grab your pen and paper, again, y'all, change stands for choose happiness and never give excuses. So we're going to have a little bit of change up in our lineup today. So you all may have known that a few weeks back, I told my story about my experience. Well, first of all, I had my daughter on, and she was on September 27th. So you guys make sure that you look back at that one because hashtag replay is for real, right? And so my daughter was kind enough, if you will, I was going to say wise enough, but she was wise enough too, but wise enough and kind enough to give us an insider view from a 15-year-old mind, right? So if you guys missed that one, you definitely want to catch the replay on that. Also, a little ways back, I told my story, my walk with cancer. So if you want to catch that one, make sure hashtag replay, look in our catalog, and you can check that out as well. So if you did not know, if you didn't lean in here, you guys, if you didn't know that I also have a special needs son, and that was one of the things that linked me with some of the speakers that you all are going to see on here tonight. So the visionary author that we're going to bring on here shortly, we met maybe about a year ago. We met about a year ago on a speaking platform. And I told a little bit about my walk basically with trauma and tragedy. So you all know that I am the Harriet Tubman of authenticity because I empower women to break the shatter those glass ceilings and break the stereotypes, those chains of stereotypes, and also to shatter and shed the baggage of past traumas and tragedies in order to live more triumphantly. So I talked a little bit about my story on there. And this young lady, she also talked about her story with caregiving. And it was like almost like a bond, a match made in heaven, if you will, because we both had that as our history. But this young lady, what she was able to do is she was able to put together platforms for caregivers, a speaking platform for us as caregivers to be able to share our heartfelt stories of our experiences as being caregivers, whether it was professional or relative caregivers. And so she's done more than that. As a matter of fact, she's also two times around has put that platform together where I was invited as a guest speaker, sharing my story on that platform with other phenomenal speakers, other phenomenal men and women who have had a brush with, if you will, in some shape, form, or fashion, with being a caregiver. And not only that, now this young lady has also put together an inspirational anthology. We were able to put our heartfelt stories into print. So I'm telling you, so we want to make sure that we are starting out and we are just getting a running start, launching this anthology. Because as you may or may not know, next month, you all, is the month for caregivers, National Caregivers Month. So, what better time than to have us end out this month with a bang, breast cancer awareness, and then go ahead and fast forward and jumpstart, launch our way into November and talk about caregiving with the anthology. So I don't want to give it all away, but we have some phenomenal speakers here this evening. We have the visionary herself, and we also have a doctor who's in the house. So we have a doctor in the house who's also going to share her story. So without further ado, I am going to go ahead and bring these fabulous ladies up. Now, okay, real quick before I bring them up, you all, I got to quick tell you all 2.5 seconds. Um, prior to coming on, I had the most challenging time with some technical difficulties. So the laptop that I normally use, I had swapped that out and had a loaner, and that one was leaving me lonely because it was not working. I couldn't get into it. So I had to dig up a laptop. It kind of archaic. So praise God that it is activated and is working. And I was able to put a newer cam on the top of there. But I wanted to stop and for station identification and just bring this up because of the fact that about maybe a few days ago, I was listening to a speaker and they were talking about how is it more, does it give you like more gusto and just more fortitude, if you will, if you experience something, some kind of tragedy or some sort of setbacks that set you up for a comeback, does it feel more triumphant when you cross that finish line? Or do you want the easy breezy lemon squeezy route and just kind of, skirt through and make it and no big deal, right? Which one would you find more gratitude? Which one would you find more altitude? Which one would you find more chutzpah? And I said, well, me, I mean, yeah, it's okay to take the easy route, but let me tell you something. When you take that hard route, when it's all said and done and the dust all clears, you just like, whoo, I did it. Yes. Yes. You know, that little emoji was like, yes. I say that to say this. Be careful what you ask for. Be careful what you ask for. I thought about that when I said that because, again, you all, mind setting, what we put out there will not come back to us void. So we have to be careful of the words that we speak because what we put out there can either bring life to something or it can cast death over something. So we want to make sure that our words matter, our mindset matters, and guess what? Caregiving matters. So let's go ahead and turn the corner and let's bring up our phenomenal caregivers that we have here that are not only a part of the global caregiver speakers, but also now a part of the anthology project. So let's go ahead and add our phenomenal speakers to the broadcast. Let's get us up here right now. Let's see
Come
how we can
on
make this look.
through.
All right. Hey, hey, hey. Can everybody hear us all loud and clear? Let me see if we can get a shift here. Oh, do you like this? Do you like this one better? I kind of like this one better. It's like we're like 1, 2, 3. Almost like we're in the same room here. Yeah, I
They
like this a
won't
little
be
bit
able to see
better.
the
Bring
what's
us
the
a little bit
name
closer
though.
together. All right,
The
you all.
name
Can
across the top though, Michelle.
uh-oh,
Michelle
what's
Darn
now?
Clark. Hey,
She is so funny today. Okay, you like that one a little bit better?
the way they can see the name. There you go.
All right, cool beans, you all. Listen, change, right, you
Hey,
all?
Dr.
Choose
Joe.
happiness and never give excuses. You got to be flexible. You have to be able to bob and weave and stick and move, right?
That's
So
right.
I want you all to give a warm welcome because I'm telling you, Sherelle D. Mims, and we have this private joke. We talk about the DD stands for darn. And so Miss Sherelle D. Mims, she is our visionary author for our book. I'm telling you, super excited for the love of caregiving. And we have our Dr. Joe Harris in the house. right now, and
Yes.
who's
Come on
also
through,
a
Dr.
part of the
Joe.
anthology. See you
Come
all. So
on
I just
through.
definitely want to give a big shout out
Yes.
to you ladies for this phenomenal experience. And so I want us to go around real briefly. So you'll see my background as well has changed. I gave you guys a little bit of heads up on that as we open up at the top of the hour. And so, my background is because I am also in this. I'm in this to win this. We're all in this to win this. And I'm a caregiver as well. So, but first, I want to start out with our visionary. I want to start out with our visionary author, Miss Sherelle D. Mims. I want her to come with us and tell us a little bit. So I'm saying her like you're not here in the room, right? So Sherelle, tell us a little bit.
She's
First, I want
definitely
to
here.
start off with the platform that we spoke on together about a year and maybe a little bit a year and a half ago, almost a little bit less than that. That we spoke on a platform together. So because I want to really get at the seed of what you planted that is now grown into this magnificent experience that has casted out hope to those
Mm,
of us who are caregivers and to those who are on the receiving end. So, caregivers, whether it be professional or relative. So, just give us a
mhm.
little bit of background about your speech back then that was the start, the onset, the birth of this. And you know what? You may have something prior to there that you may want to share because I'm sure that wasn't the start of it, but that was the start of me knowing about it. So, go ahead, Miss
Absolutely.
Sherelle D. Mills, and give the people a little background about where this all started as caregiving.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Michelle Don Clark, for that question. Listen, life is so wonderful, isn't it? So
Yes, it is.
this all started back in 20 June 2018. Excuse me, June 18th, 2021. But even prior to that, I was me and you, how Michelle and I met. We met on Sean Fair Leadership Experience Tour. That's how we met. From there, we kept this thing going. It was a connection right then and there. We give kudos to Sean Fair because he is phenomenal in his space and what he is doing. I'm telling you, Sean, kudos to you. You doing the darn thing. And so we're learning from him. He's one of the best ones in the business. But this is the thing. When I shared my story about losing my loved one, my fiance at the time from stage 4 stomach cancer, that was my excuse me, that was my story, and it is also out now. It became a book called I'll Wait Until Morning, a caregiver's perspective on losing a loved one to cancer. We all may, some of you may have lost a loved one for cancer, some of you may have not, but let me tell you how horrific that was. A horrific time in my life. It was devastating. I wasn't expecting it. It's something that happened. But let me share this. From all of that, it stemmed to the Global Caregivers Network. It was in my heart, in my spirit, to move forth with something related to what has happened to him. And not just to him, but to those that's in the audience, that's under the sound of my voice, that are dealing with someone with cancer right now, or you have lost a loved one already from cancer. It doesn't matter the what kind of cancer it was. It was the C word, right? And let me share this with you. The C word, cancer, is not a death sentence. It's how you respond. So we dealt with this with my fiance for about 18 months once he was diagnosed. And let me tell you, it was just something to deal with, right? Number one, because I was still working in the civilian world as a registered nurse, and then to come home and have to take care of him, it was just too much going on, too much stimulation, external stimulation. And so, with all of that being said, he expired in 2013. And I shared in my book how you can do different things to. I gave away some five tips or whatever that you can do to help you to get over that period in your life where things just not right. You're just feeling some kind of way. Things not going your way. It was a time when I felt sad, oppressed. You know what I'm saying? Suppressed. And I just was feeling some kind of way. You know, the depression had came over. I'm telling you real things that happened. and that happened. However, I did not stay there. It was my response to what had happened. Yes, there's a time for you to uh, take it all in, but the main thing is this: how do you deal with it? How do you come out of that? So I shared all that, and then you're gonna have to read the book. I'm not gonna tell you the whole story. You have to read the book. You can go on Amazon and buy the book. I Will Wait Until Morning by Sherelle D. Mims. And so, with that being said, with the studio audience, this is where For the Heart of Caregiver came in, the Global Caregivers Network, and the Global Caregiver Speakers. This has all been established over within 6 months. God had given me the Global Caregiver Speakers, and that is a platform with a plethora of speakers, caregiver speakers, exclusively professional and family, that come to a virtual stage to share their experiences, their stories, their compassion, and how they dealt with issues and things, challenges that they dealt with their family members, and dealing with cancer or whatever the situation may have been with them. So yes, absolutely. Reach out to me. You can reach out to me. It's so much going on right now. This is the time now. National Caregivers Month is upon us for November. So definitely reach out to myself, Michelle, Dr. Joe. We're all in this together. We are all caregivers. So absolutely. And stay tuned. There's more where that came from.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Sherelle, for giving us that backstory, that really shed light on you
Mm-hmm.
relative caregiver. And so I know you talked about, and of course we're not going to go too much further into that because again, you guys do have to get the book. So make sure you get the
Yes,
book. I Will Wait Until Morning by Sherelle D.
yes,
Mims. It is on Amazon. So make sure you all go on to Amazon.com and support Sherelle D. Mims because it is a story you definitely want to
yes,
hear more of it and also be able to garner those steps that she
yes.
took in order to move through because you don't ever really get over. You
Sure.
don't get over, but you definitely need to move through some of the pains that we may have as a result of losing a loved one, or even
Absolutely.
if just stepping aside, if it's a loved one who may still be with us, but they may have lost some of their faculties, that still is a loss in itself. And so you
Mhm.
can still find solace in reading this book and finding out what
Yes,
steps that you can take to move through whatever it is you may be experiencing. So I'm just wondering on the backstory again, Sherelle,
hmm,
do you believe that with you being in the caregiving industry as a professional, that helped you to move through the challenges that you experience as a caregiver on the relative side?
absolutely. Guaranteed it was. I'm telling you. It's the thing about when you don't, if you don't have information, applied knowledge is power. I said applied, right? Because you can have the knowledge and not apply it, and then it's not powerful. But when you apply the knowledge that you know, it makes it much better for you. From what I knew in the professional world as a registered nurse, let me tell you, that took me a long way. I don't know if I would be here if I didn't have the experience, the expertise, the professionalism that I have dealing with cancer patients. Mind you, I did oncology nurse for about 5 years, right? Cancer, dealing with cancer patients, giving them chemotherapy. Chemotherapy is the IV solutions that we give them. And I'm telling you, you're right, Michelle, it would have been a different way. And I know it would have. Because when you don't know what you don't know, you just don't know. Can I say that again?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
When you
ma'am.
don't know what you don't know,
That's
you
right.
just don't know. Because it's real. A lot of people right now are not educated on a lot of things that's going on. Like in the doc, when you go to the doctor's office, right? They talking all this lingo, this medical terminology. We got to get back to the basic. where the people understand what is being said. I was just reading a book the other day, or I was reading somewhere where we have to talk in layman terms. It depends on who you're talking to. Am I right about it, Dr. Joe?
Yes, ma'am.
We
Yes, ma'am.
can, yes, we cannot just start flip flamming things, right? And people don't understand what's going on. So education, so they can make a what? Informed decision on things that's going on with them. And thank you for that question, Michelle, because you know what? I don't know. I think it would have been a different story. I don't know if I would even be here to even tell the story. Because what
Yeah,
you when you don't know, you just don't know.
that's right.
So a lot of people just feel that way. They just don't know what to do. So
Yes.
what do you do, Michelle and Dr. Joe, when you just don't know what to do?
That's
Right?
right. And and,
We
and
got
I,
to
will-
talk
I
about the real things that's going on. It's real.
it is very real. And so, Dr. Joe, I do want you to jump in here.
Yes.
First of all, tell the people a little bit about, who you are, what you do, and then weigh in on the question as well, because you have that background. So
Mm-hmm.
it makes it a little bit different. So let the people know who you are, what you do.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Josephine Harris. You can call me Dr. Joe. I am the mental health expert. I am the mental health psychologist as well. I'm an international psychologist. I'm also a certified mental health wellness coach where I advocate for mental health as well. I am a
Yes.
international best-selling author, a 9-time Amazon best-selling author. I also coach military spouses to navigate through different challenges so that they can find their self identity and self discovery. And with the question, oh my goodness, like Sherelle say, if you really don't know what you don't know, then you don't know. So the best thing for you as a caregiver is to educate yourself on different revenues of that. Like for me, it was difficult for me to try and be a caregiver for my father because he had early sign of dementia. I know I'm a mental health professional. I was a nurse and all that, but when it hit home run for you with your family members, you're trying to figure out what you can do and what you can understand their diagnosis so that you can help be the best caregiver that you need to be. So I had to research dementia. I had to research dementia dealing with his age as a black male with his age, and he's in his early 70s. I mean, his late 70s. So I had to research how does that affect my dad and how does it will affect me so that I can give him the best possible caregiver and care for him and get the right nurses. Because let me tell you, the most important thing of dealing with dementia is getting someone who specializes in that.
There you
Because if
go.
you get someone who doesn't specialize in that, they don't know what to look for or what to do. Because my dad, he done fired like 7 nurses. He done fired like 7 nurses. And I'm like, why? Because they don't understand that he doesn't mean it. It's just that when you get on their nerves, they say you fire with everything. He fired me as a daughter, but hey, I'm still here.
I mean,
I love it. I
Dr.
love
Joe,
it.
let me ask you something right quick. With your dad, remember, did you check with the resources in the community about those that specialize? If they can send
Yes,
someone that, yeah, because you don't want just anyone going out there. They have to
yes,
understand the disease process, man, the whole gamut.
yes.
Oh, I was waiting for you to expound upon that. So, because
Oh,
somebody out there might be wondering, and thanks so
right.
much, Sherelle, for that question, that follow up question, because someone may be saying, okay, yes, I would like to have a specialist, but I don't even know where to start. And so, with Sherelle, with you asking, did you look in the community? So, how did you start your search? Like, what was that process? And then, because you can look into Lord, I'm about to tell my age, but so you can look through the yellow pages. You can look on the internet and I know, right? you can, you can look on the internet and you can do the search, and of course you can do the ratings and the reviews, but by the time you can be in a rabbit hole and you're not a bit more knowledgeable than you were, it's almost like at that point, okay, so then do I just draw straws? Okay, whoever got the most 5 stars and the most reviews. So what helped you to narrow down that search and say, this is the one, for my dad? What was that?
Well, with me, I had to go in different. I went to different agency. I went to different hospitals. I went in the community for resources that deal with dementia and Alzheimer's. So I went to an organization that give you resources about on dementia and Alzheimer's and how to find nurses, caregiver that can go into the home and specialize in dementia. So I had to really network with people in the community. I had to make sure that they take his insurance and
Yeah.
making sure that they're not charging him the amount of money that he doesn't really need to pay them. So you have to do it's a lot of work involved. So in taking care of my dad, I'm in Washington and he's in Savannah, Georgia. So imagine me traveling back and forth, trying to handle all his business and making sure that he's okay. So I'm on the phone, and the good thing that he has a wonderful social worker. She is so wonderful.
Yes.
But
Yes.
she stay in touch with me and I stay in touch with her. And that's how we began to build that relationship with the community and get this caregiver and the specialization in dementia and Alzheimer's to fit his needs.
Yes. Yeah. So I have another follow up after that one because I know you talked about, Dr. Joe, that first of all, shout out to social workers. I have to shout out my social worker homies, of course, LMSW, let's go. All right, so definitely with a shout out social workers because I'm telling you, overworked, underpaid, bar none. It just doesn't make any sense. That'll be another platform, another time. But but actually, it's a nice corner to turn because I wanted to look at the finances because you talked about how he's in Savannah, Georgia. You're in Washington. It's like, and you have to fly back and forth. And the same thing with you, Sherelle. What would you all say? And both y'all can weigh in on this one. Was there any kind of financial ramifications that you all experienced as a result of having to put a pause in your life to provide care and do all the research and all of that? Was there any kind of financial hardships or pause or challenges that you all experienced during that process?
With me, it wasn't, as I wouldn't say a hardship. I would say a difficult time in implementing it into my life because I travel a lot. So I make sure that the route that I take is going through Georgia and I can stop there in my layover. So it's like I'm traveling and I speak a lot. And so when I travel, I make sure that destination is one of my layover destination. And I go there and check and make sure everything okay. So, and I am also what helps. I'm an empty nester. So that helps. And most of my kids are grown with husbands and wives. So that tends to help too, where I don't have to really worry about teenagers, really worry about other children. But one of the things that really important is taking care of that husband that I have and making sure that I'm not neglecting his needs.
That's right.
To
That's
be a
right.
caregiver for my dad.
Yes, yes, 100%. And I put in the chat here, I'm going to go ahead and highlight it. Not balance, integration. A lot of people talk about work-life balance. There is no balance. It's called integration.
It's
And
not.
That's right.
it's just called integration because we're talking about balance. That means there's going to be a teetering somewhere. There's a scale. It's going to be teetering somewhere. At some point, when you take something off of here, then this part's going to go down. Take something off of here, that part. So integration. So I love how you talked about that. You made sure that your stops were going through Savannah so that you can make sure to take care of your dad. And that's one of the ways that we can show integration. So I preach about that a lot. Let me tell you something. Once I heard about that, I was like, oh, you mean all these years I've been trying to balance something that's unbalanceable?
Yes.
Like people talk about, well, I was gonna say balancing a checkbook because at some point it's gonna be unbalanced until you rebalance it and you have to so it's a reset over and over and over again. So integration is the best way to put that rather than saying balance. So thank you so much, Dr. Joe, for that. And I love calling you Dr. Joe, by the way. My mom, her name is Joanne. A lot of times people call her Joe. So I just feel right at home. So thank you for that. So Sherelle, did you want to weigh in on that question about the financial, and it doesn't have to be a hardship, but it could be an impression or anything like that when you were dealing with, caring for your husband?
My fiance.
Fiance.
Oh,
I'm already married, y'all.
you got to say.
You gotta walk down the aisle.
Y'all done
Right,
walked that aisle already. It happened.
that is so good. But no, the good thing about with us, it was wonderful because we didn't really have a hardship because guess what? He had excellent insurance. I mean, and then he was never sick, so everything that he needed, it was all paid for. And then, mind you, it wasn't a hardship to me because I'm already still working, So no, we did not have any kind of financial hardship. Matter of fact, all of the family members came together, his siblings. I was not even playing. We about y'all gonna have to come on in here. Listen, all hands on deck, right? So we can take care of your brother. But of course, they have their ways, right? They want you to be there. So I shared with him, okay, you can pay me for taking off from work. You sure can, darling. I'm gonna take a FEMLA for all of them days. And for, and for them days I'm not working, because the brother had money. It wasn't even about the money. The money was there and the insurance was there. So he
Hmm.
was very well taken care of. We did not have to pay one bill from the Cancer Society. All the
Oh,
places that he went to, I'm telling you, God worked that thing out. And they said if we did get a bill, to make sure that we brought it back into them so that
yes.
they would pay it. And that's the whole thing with the Cancer Society. They are not supposed to be burdened with bills. They're not. It's places that you go, they're supposed to take care of you. So, and a lot of people have good insurance, and the
Yes.
insurance company took care of everything. So I thank you for that question. We was not burdened with the bills. We had a he had a smooth transition. You
Yes.
know, we all was expecting it. No, we was not ready for it, but God prepares your heart. He had
Yes.
already prepared my heart for it. And so we did everything that we needed to do. And I was pleased with the end result. He didn't suffer. He went out
Yes.
quietly and everything was well in God's order.
Amen. That's a show enough blessing right there because I mean,
Mm,
when someone goes through something like that, the it's one thing to already have that diagnosis and
sure.
then to be
Yeah.
terminal, but then
Mhm.
to be able to transition peacefully and to
Yes.
know that he didn't suffer,
Did not. And that's the thing
that
about it too. We
matters.
have to understand. We want in the healthcare world, and Queen Dr. Joe can vouch for this. We want people to make their transition with dignity and with respect.
Respect. Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? And so, with all of that being done, and another thing, if they can make their transition at home, with their family members, that is so wonderful. And that's what he did. This is why my heart wasn't so heavy when he passed away, because it
Yes.
was already set. There was an ordained time, right? And so the transition was smooth. And yes, it was wonderful. And the book came out of it. It's still selling. People still going on Amazon buying it. It's just something about this time of year as well, going into the holidays. So yeah, I am good with it though. I am peaceful, and God just did the thing. I love what God does. He makes sure that our heart is right.
Yes,
Yes.
he does.
Yes, he does. 100%. 100%. Absolutely. Well, thank you, ladies, for giving us some more of the backstory,
Hmm.
of what it's like to be a professional caregiver, but also a relative caregiver, and for it to be
Sure.
so intimate.
Mm,
It's I don't want to say or downplay anything like saying if it's a cousin or an auntie or a sister, but someone who one get help to give you life, your dad, and then your fiance. So that's like as close as intimate as it can possibly get.
sure.
You know,
Absolutely.
um, with exception or in addition to what I also experienced with it being my son. So it's like that, just that 1 degree away, right? Was
Mm,
in the bloodline. So absolutely. And so I want to shift gears just a tad bit. So I want
mm-hmm.
to talk more about, because I know we had 2 rounds of the Global Caregivers Network speakers. And so we got a chance to speak on the platform. And I know that you were saying that you had kind of I guess, follow the footsteps of someone who is already doing some phenomenal things in the community. Mr. Sean Fair, shout out to you. Who
Mhm.
laid the foundation for you just following in his footsteps and doing the platform for speakers.
Yes.
So, what was it now that made you say, Sherelle, you know what? I think we're going to take this from the stage to the page. Ooh, I need to write that down. That was good. Hold on. I just thought that up. What made you? Hold on, I'm for real. Hold on, I got a piece of paper.
You gotta put that in your
What
little
made you? Y'all
program
heard it
down
here
there.
first
So
now.
when you go back and look at it live, girl, you'll have it right there. From the stage to the page. Come on.
You heard
Come
it here
on through
first,
here.
y'all.
Put that in your little thing at the bottom, girl. From the stage to the page. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Come on through. Yeah. So from the stage to the page. Now
Yeah.
that's gonna be our next book project.
You see what I'm saying?
That
Mhm.
Come on. That is so funny, but it's real, okay? People are taking little excerpts like that. But anyway, you know what's so wonderful about this? That everyone is, when you have people on board that's really undergird you, right? When God gives you a vision and they
Yes.
come alongside you and know that this is something that they believe in you as the visionary, that says something. Because y'all did not have to come in with, you see what I'm saying? But you did. So y'all seen something in me as a leader, as a visionary, to say, you know what? I'm gonna do this with Miss Sherelle. I'm gonna do this. And that's where that stage from the page come from. Because God is doing this thing. Like I share with you all, I'm not just doing this. I'm not stepping out there doing things haphazardly. I have to hear from the Lord. I have to hear from the Holy Spirit. It's a lot of things out there, a lot of things that's going on. But as you see on my page, you don't see, I cannot do everything. I can't be on there. I tell y'all this all the time. Strategically, God just have me putting things together, right? All you got to do is just sit down and talk to him. He already know what you're capable of doing, but he doesn't want Miss Sherelle doing everything. I cannot do it. He know how much we can take. He know how much we can bear.
mm-hmm.
So when these anthologies come out, and there are more to come, I'm let the Holy Spirit lead me. And when He say yes, it's time to go. This is why you have people just coming right in and doing it, because their heart is already ready and is right to be done. And when I
Yes,
come up with these titles, these not my titles. These are the Holy Spirit titles that He give to me.
Yes.
For the love of caregiving, this, you see, was for the love of caregiving inaugural anthology. This is our first caregiver book. First one. I always share with you is something about being first. And you already know volume and volume after volume gonna come behind this one.
yes, ma'am.
Woo woo. Yes. 100%. Absolutely.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
Dr. Joe. You're always on the team, right? You have fans. I tell you guys all the time. You have fans and you have cheerleaders. Fans are your diehards. No matter what you do, they're gonna be there for you. Then you got your cheerleaders. They're just gonna cheer you on the sideline, right? They're not gonna do anything. They just gonna be cheering you, right? So,
Yes.
but that's what a cheerleader does. They cheer you all the way. But
Yes.
your
Yes. Providing
fans,
that encouragement.
yes, that motivation, that encouragement, they're gonna uplift you. Go ahead, you can do it. Go ahead, go, go, go. Right? But your fans, through the seasons, through the storms, rain, sleet, summer, fall, winter, they there. Every time you say something, I'm on your team, Miss Sherelle. I'm on your team, Michelle. I'm on your team, Dr. Joe. You see what I'm saying? Those the ones you want to wrap and engulf them, right? To continue to be with them. And if it's anything, I tell people all the time, is there anything that you have going on that Miss Sherelle can support you in? Don't hesitate. Miss Sherelle, what you got going on? Let me get my darn calendar out and see what I got going on. Okay, let me see. I can do that for you. You see what I'm saying? Girl, I can do that for you. We are all in this together.
Absolutely, we are.
And I always share with you, ladies and gentlemen in the audience, there's no I in team. When it's a team effort, I always call you authors. But because, quote unquote, society, the community, you're a co author. But everyone in this book is an author. Everyone in this book have pretty much done a book before. So you're authors. Amen. And that's where I'm at.
Amen. Well
That's
Yes.
said.
my
Well
story. And
said.
I'm
So we
sticking
can get
to
to
it.
it.
Yes, girl.
All right, all right. That's what I'm talking about. Answer that question, you're
Yes, thank you.
yes.
Yes.
So,
It's so
so
good to
so for
have the
those,
laughter. It's so good
yes,
just to have laughter, man. With everything
absolutely.
that's
You know
going
what?
on.
I always say keep fun and fundamentals. You got to keep
Yes.
fun and
Yes.
fundamentals. You have
That's
to.
another.
Laughter is the key to your soul.
Okay,
Yes, it is.
put
Laughter is
them little
therapeutic. I
slogans
got it
down there.
all. I have all the sayings. So for those of you all who may just be tuning in, because I did see some eyeballs pop up here and some hearts pop up here. So we are here with two phenomenal women who are both a part of the Caregivers inaugural book for the love of caregiving. And we have our visionary author, none other than Miss Sherelle D. Mills. And as we like to joke between the two of us,
Mhm.
D stands for Darn. I know she know it says that to me. So now I'm gonna send it back to you. But Darn, it's in love, you all. It's in love, 100%.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
we have Dr. Joe Harris, who is also here in the house as a
Yes.
professional and also relative caregiver. And she has also spoken on the circuit as well as being a part of the inaugural, the very first. And I love it, Cheryl, every time you say that. First of all, I love how you enunciate. You be like the inaugural. Like she just
Yes.
breaks it down. I love that
Inaugural.
because it's just
Yes.
something about when you say it. You know what I'm saying, Dr. Joe? It's something about when you say that, you
Yes.
put that pause on it, and I feel it
Mhm.
fluttering in my heart. And it is something about the first. It's something about the first. I have a boy and a girl, so I can say I have the first, my firstborn, but also my first girl. So, first boy, first girl. So, but it's something about the first, right? The first time you've written your bike, the first time you've written a book, the first time you went to college, if you've gotten multiple degrees, the first time you went
Mhm.
to class. But it's always something the first time, your first love, right? It's always something about the first, right? Or your first heartbreak, unfortunately, but it's something about the first. So I am super, super excited that I have been able to be a part of the first of the speaking circuit and also now the inaugural of our book. So I'm super excited to be able that you invited me to be a part of this campaign. So thank you so much, Sherelle, for inviting me and Dr. Joe and some of the other fabulous writers and speakers who have graced the stage and the page. So you all, if you have any questions, make sure you put them in the chat because I see some eyeballs. I see eyeballs watching, and thank you all so much. So, if this is your first time seeing the show, welcome. And of course, if you've been on the show before, you've seen us before, welcome back. So, we love our supporters, we love our fans and our cheerleaders, the whole nine, right? So, make sure that you have any questions, whether it be about caregiving, either on the receiving end or on the giving end. So, if you are a caregiver or if you know someone who is, make sure that you have them watch this. If they can't get on right now, it's okay. Hashtag replay is for real. Make sure you put your questions in there because we will be checking back and seeing if there's any questions that you all had and make sure they get answered. In addition to that, so I know you talked about how there's going to be some coming afterwards, coming afterwards, coming afterwards. Are there going to be some more? And we were talking about the page, so we're talking about the anthology. Are there going to be some more of the Global Caregiver Network speaking engagements that's going to come up? Are we going to have more of those? Inquiring minds want to know. Uh-oh, Sherelle, you are muted.
You already know the inquiring minds that want to know. Absolutely. Listen, if you want to come share your story in 2023, I'm not going to give it all away. Listen, contact me. We're going to do this again. Absolutely. I'm working with my team, Dr. Joe, Dr. Michelle Darn Clark. I know y'all going to come and grace the stage. Amen. And let God do what he does best with you. Not just you all, but for your listening audience. If there's someone out there in the audience, this is exclusively for caregivers. Yes, there are other speaker platforms out there. This one right here is for our wonderful caregivers, professional and family. And guess what? You may even have a personal caregiver story about how you did something and got over it, right? So you want to grace the stage next year, 2023, reach out to me, Sherelle D. Mims at globalcaregivers.net. That's my email. And I always tell people all the time, listen, let's get back to the phone. Let's get back to the basic. Call me,
Yeah.
260
So hold on, do
218.
one quick thing. Give me the email first again, and then I'll also put the phone number too. So give me the email again. So you said Sherelle D.
Sure.
Mims.
Yes, that says Sherelle at globalcaregivers.net.
All right, so we'll get that up there. And while we're doing that, let's also get your phone number.
Sure. Serious inquiries only.
I know that's right. Hold on, let me put that in there. Hold on, because I
Put
want to
that
make sure
in
we.
big girl.
Let's put that on there.
Wait a
Serious
minute.
inquiries only, right?
Okay.
Okay,
And
so what's the phone number?
that email, Michelle, is just Sherelle at Global Caregivers Network. Just Sherelle at
Okay,
Global Caregivers Network.net. I'm
okay,
sorry.
so not Sherelle D. Mims, just
No.
Sherelle.
Sherelle at Global Caregivers.net.
Okay,
That might be why I didn't get your email, Michelle.
girl, let me tell you something. We're gonna get it right. We're gonna get right.
Amen.
I'm gonna put it up. Let me put it up together. Hold on. So I'm gonna put
Yes.
serious inquiries only, and so with
Serious.
that one as well with the email, because again, we want to make sure that if you are, and make sure that it's all spelled correctly. Because I do not have my glasses on, you all, so I am typing almost near blind.
Okay.
So, but yes, Sherelle at Global Caregivers. Lord Jesus, I'm gonna get
SE.
it right.
Got to put an I in there.
Caregivers. Where did
Or
I
the
miss the I?
serious. Or the serious. Put serious inquiries only,
You know
all
what? Let me
caps.
tell you something. We can just go and get with serious, 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 serious inquiries only. We don't need an I. You don't need the I in there. You listen. Serious
Wait a
inquiries
minute.
only, right? You had listen, people. You got to keep fun and
Wait a
fundamentals, right? Got to
You
keep
know
fun
what?
and fundamentals. All right.
Yes.
Wait a minute, hold on. That's like some zero saying when it's that fluid. She say serious.
See what I'm
Serious.
saying? That's past.
Serious.
Listen, when you say
You want
serious,
serious
that's
inquiries
more
only.
than serious. That's beyond, right? All right. So let's also then get your the numbers. So
Amen.
call and again we're gonna put uh serious. I almost want to just put serious in there again because that I like that one.
Right, serious. This is the
Queries only.
call for
And what's
details.
what's the number now?
They can call for details 260
260
218
218.
3377
Wait, 33.
77.
77. I like that. Okay. And
Yes.
I'll say call. You said for details,
Yes.
right?
That's the
And
business
but I'm still
line.
gonna put that
Yes.
serious inquiries only on there. I like that. Like I said I should have spelled the same way because that was
Yes.
She
I
said,
should have spelled the exact same way.
she
So,
say
but yeah,
serious,
yeah. So
serious.
yeah, make sure. Right. I almost spelled the same way. I want to do that, but I at least want people to know that I am a little bit educated, right? So I
That's
did
right.
get a
That's right.
bachelor's and a
You're like,
master's.
what?
So just a little bit, a little bit of education in there, or as we
That's
sometimes
right.
joke and say, edumacation, right? So we are educated ladies here, right? So again, if you can't laugh at yourself, right? You got
Get
to
in
keep
touch.
fun and fundamental. But definitely, if you all are interested and
Yes.
finding out more information about how you can get your story out there. Because the bottom line is, we never know how your story is going to hit someone else's life
Sure.
right when they need it. And if we keep that to
Absolutely.
ourselves, if we are selfish in nature. And yes, I'm saying if we are selfish in nature and we hold
Mm-hmm.
on to that, that could be somebody's blessing. Someone is waiting on the other end of that. They're waiting to
That's
hear
right.
your story because that could be the very story that can set them free.
Come on.
The very story that can set them
Mhm.
free. So they need to hear it. You may think to yourself, oh, no, I don't want to air my dirty laundry. Air it.
That
Air
part.
it. Think about this. If you keep dirty
Yes.
laundry cooped up, what is it going to smell like?
Right.
Hello,
Michelle,
somebody. So make
Darwin
sure
Clark.
air the dirty laundry. Air it because
Yes,
your dirty laundry again is someone else's blessing. You know they say somebody's trash is another man's treasure.
that's
Listen,
right.
whatever it is that you're
That's
going through,
right.
it's not just for you. You're going through it so you can grow through it, so you can reach back and help somebody else.
There you go.
So make sure you reach out to Miss Sherelle D. Mims. Reach out to her at Sherelle at globalcaregivers.net and also call her. The number's on there 260-218-3377. So again, we're going to say it again 260-218-3377. It's almost like a little song that goes on, right? I love it when you have double numbers there. Makes it real easy. Makes it real easy. So make
Right.
sure you all reach out because again, you can either do it on the speaking end if you say to yourself, I'm not a speaker. That's okay. Again, you don't have to be on the stage. You can be on the page because, again, when she says inaugural, when somebody says the first, that means there's going to be
Right.
another one to come after it. Yes? Yes, yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So make sure that,
Absolutely.
yes.
Mhm.
And you may say to yourself, well, I'm not a writer. Listen, if you can talk, you're a writer. That's the bottom line. If you can speak, then you're a
You're
writer.
right.
All you have to do
Absolutely.
is, if you listen, there's ways to do it. If you want to know about it, go ahead, hit Sherelle D. Mims up. You can hit myself up. You can also hit up
Mhm.
Dr. Joe. Hit us
That's
up as
right.
well. So along those
Absolutely.
lines, Dr. Joe, I know some people are like, man, I want to work with her. You know, I'm a military spouse, and I have some things going on,
That's
and I
right.
need some help. How can they reach out to you also, Dr. Joe?
Well, I'm on all social media, Dr. Joe Harris, on LinkedIn, Dr. Josephine Harris, and you can reach me on my website is www.commonmindsllc.com. I also have a blog. Go subscribe to it called Healthy Minds and Hearts, where I talk. I'll give you pointers and talk about my mental health journal, what I went through, what I overcame, and it is a wonderful blog. So I am on the blog is called Healthy Minds and Hearts, and y'all can go and like it. Thank you.
Okay, so healthy minds and hearts. And where's the blog at?
On
Where
WordPress.
hmm?
WordPress.
WordPress. Okay, okay. Now
Yes.
is that on the website then? On is Common Minds LLC
It,
dot
it is on my
okay.
website.
Okay, okay. So Common Minds, y'all help me out here. So www.commonmindsllc.com, right?
Yes.
Okay, llc.com. I just want to make sure. So go ahead and when we put this up here, make sure it's spell check it. And if it is incorrect, we'll make sure to get the correct one up there. And you
And
guys
that
want
is
to reach
not
out.
correct.
You said it is or it's not?
It's CALMING.
Calming.
Oh,
Calm.
calming.
Yes.
Calming
Oh,
minds.
oh, well, I
Yes.
feel even better now. I feel calm just hearing that.
Yes.
yes.
100%. Okay, you also calming my. See,
That was
okay.
definitely a good name because
Yeah,
people minds need to
we're
be
gonna get it
calm.
right and get it up there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it's
It's a story
www.
behind that whole name, but that's another time for another podcast.
Okay, all right. Hey, you know what? And I already know that we're gonna have both of you fabulous ladies back on here because again, when we talk about the inaugural, and then there's gonna be another one. So we
Mm-hmm.
definitely want to make sure to get you all up there. Now I'm having some technical difficulties on this end. Every time I type it, it disappears. So, but we're gonna get it up here. And worst case scenario,
Man.
we'll make sure to have it in the chat. But I think I
Mm-hmm.
have it now, calmingmindsllc.com. Yes. All right, let's check it out. Let's see. Let's do the test, you all.
yes.
Yay. Woo, woo. There you go. All right, you all. So listen, it's not perfection, right? It's progress over perfection. You do not have to be perfect.
Right.
Nobody is perfect, but it's progress over perfection. So that's a
That's it.
little mindset hack that I like to give to my clients. So ladies, is there any parting words that you would like to leave with the audience. First of all, we got to drop the date. How about that? The book comes
Yes,
out. Let's get
absolutely.
that right, right? So
Absolutely.
we can't leave it out letting you guys know. So I know we talked about November being Global Caregivers Month, caregiving month, and so we want to make sure that you all know that we are dropping the book now. Is it the 9th and 10th? Help us out
No,
here.
this is the book is coming out
Yes.
National Caregivers Month, which is in November. The date is to be determined. It's coming out next month. National Caregivers Month is in November, and we'll definitely have our book coming out in November. So stay tuned for the date that we're going to launch this book.
All
It's
right. So
coming
you all
out.
heard it here first.
And what we
For
need you all to do, while y'all, not to cut you off,
no,
Michelle,
no, go ahead, go ahead.
while you all are waiting, go ahead and get your coins ready because we're going to need every one of you to support us. Everyone. If you got 99 cents, $1.99, we need you to support us when we drop the date. So we can
Absolutely.
make a
So
number one bestseller. We're going for the number one international bestseller. So stay tuned for the date. Don't miss your opportunity to come out and support the Global Caregivers Network and our number one book that's going to drop in November, For the Love of Caregiving.
yes. So I want to make sure to put that in there for the love of caregivers.
And
And
just
so
by saying
everybody,
that, oh, go ahead, sis.
no, that's thank you. Yep. So make sure you all that you, like you said, okay, first of all, if you have to start now for 199, then we might need to have some conversations about money making activities on the back end. I'm just saying. So, but really, whether it be don't get that coffee from one of those places that has the mocha chocolate latte, frappe, mappe, lattes, whatever. Put that to the side because this is something that's going to feed your mind. This is going to
Amen.
help you and help someone else. And don't just get it for yourself, also get it for someone else, especially if you know that they are a caregiver or they have been, like I call on the other end, been caregived, because I've been on
Mm-hmm.
both ends of the coins, right? So
That's
on the one
right.
hand, I
That's
was a
right.
caregiver for my listen, Dr. Joe, I make up worse as I go. So, so and y'all heard this here first. So on the one hand, I was a caregiver, and then on the other hand, I needed a caregiver. So, and make sure that you get a book for them too. And if it's only, we're talking
That's
about
right.
only 99 cents or $1.99, whatever it's going to turn out to be, it's going to be on Amazon. So make sure it's going to be a downloadable Kindle. You don't have to have a Kindle to have it, but it's downloadable. You can read it. So as soon as you buy it, you can read it right then and there. Read it. And I'm telling you, it's going to be a good read. You're going to sit down. It's going to be hard for you to tear away from it. And you're going to want to share it with someone else. And if you have an organization of
Mhm.
caregivers, or if you have an organization of people who provide care or need care, you're going to want to get a stack of them for those
That's
people
right.
as well. Because each
Hmm.
person they're not only going to share their story, but they're also going to share their remedy. They're going to share
That's
their
right.
walk of how they got through what they were going through. Right. And so you're going to want to know those steps. You're going to want to know what steps did this person take? What step did that person take? Right? Because I'm also going to put in there what my steps were. And you're
That's
going to
right.
want to know what that is, because that could be, let me tell you something. If you don't get this book, the one thing that you need that could turn your life from ordinary to
All
extraordinary,
types of
something that can
caregiving.
help you to move forward in your walk as a caregiver or as someone who needs caregiving, it's going to be in that book. And if you don't get it, you're going to miss it. You're going to miss it. So you don't want to be on that side. Trust me. You don't want to be on the side of the grass that's not greener. So make sure that you stay tuned, and we'll keep you all posted. You can check my site. You can check on Sherelle D. Mims. You can check on Dr. Joe Harris on all of our platforms. We're on multiple platforms, and check us out. And when we do launch, I'll also make sure to put a blurb on our Tuesday talks with Ms. Clark, LMSW, at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So before we go, I did want to give you all an opportunity that if there's anything that you want to share, then please go ahead and share with the audience. What would you like to leave them with?
You know what? I want to leave everybody with this is, although you are a caregiver or you're being cared for or someone, are you taking care of someone, always remember to do self-care yourself, whether it's physical, mentally, spiritual, emotional, because that's going to help you to regroup and renew your mind as well.
100%. Self care is not selfish, it's necessary. 100%. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Joe. All right, what you got for this, Sherelle? I know you got some. What you got for us, lady? Uh-oh, you muted. We're missing all the goodness.
I was I was gonna say in the realm of taking care of someone as a caregiver, we all know this, and I just keep it. This is I'd like to end with this. Rosalind Carter said it best, the former first lady of Jimmy Carter. She said there are only four types of people in the world, if you will, four types of caregivers, right? You're either what? Going to, you're a past caregiver, a current caregiver, you will be a caregiver, and there's one more that she put in there. So it's four types of
You're going to need a
caregivers.
caregiver.
We're going to need a caregiver. So with those four types of caregiver, just think about it. You're either a past caregiver, a future caregiver, a current caregiver, or you're going to need a caregiver. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it, as Les Brown would say. I always have to quote someone at the end, right? And
I
listen to
love it.
this.
I
Maya
love it. I love it.
Angelou said this. Guess what? People don't want to know nothing about what you talking about, how you doing this thing. All they want to know is how you made them feel.
That's it. My
And I'm
Angelo,
paraphrasing. That's
100%.
Maya Angelou. Those are my words from quoted from them, because I don't want to know nothing about what you did, how you did it, and you taking care of me. I want to know: are you being compassionate? Are you
Yes.
caring? Are you being sensitive to the needs that I have right now? Or you gonna come in my room and talk about, oh girl, last night me and my boyfriend got together, right? Be sensitive to people and where they're at. When you are taking care of someone, put your heart into it. This is why this is called for the love of caregiving. Take care of everybody, take care of your people. But number one, like Dr. Joe said, take care of yourself first and make sure that your heart is in it. That's my
100%.
story.
It's your story. You sticking to it. And that is a great story to have. Thank you, ladies, so much for coming out and gracing the podcast this evening and really getting us a jump start on November, which is National Caregivers Month. So thank you all again so much for coming out.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank
Anytime.
you. Thank
All right,
you.
ladies,
All right.
hang in the back. Don't go yet.
Okay. Thank you. Good night, everyone.
All right, good night, everyone. All
Good
right,
night.
you all. So you all heard it here first. We had some phenomenal speakers on this evening that have phenomenal hearts. And whatever my pastor, my late great pastor, um, used to always say, Pastor Cliff L. Jackson III, he used to always say, whatever comes from the heart speaks to the heart. And so that's exactly what we experienced tonight. And you all, when Sherelle led and she stated that, caregivers, the word care, again, I love words. Words matter. Care is at the beginning of it. Caregivers and give, right? So those two words weren't put together happenstancely. They're put together purposefully.
Amen.
Caregivers. So definitely you want to make sure that when the book drops, For the Love of Caregiving, our visionary author is Sherelle D. Mims. There's a plethora of other caregivers who are gracing the pages that are telling their stories from their hearts and also giving you all a pathway of how you can also make it through
Rock
your
Father,
caregiving
Lord,
journey. So make sure that you are um, take advantage of the information that'll be in that book. So all right, everybody, this has been another Wonderful segment, another wonderful experience. I'm telling you, every show, I just get more filled because we're able to share with you all something of substance, something that matters. So, all right, you all, not to belabor this, thank you all so much for coming out. Make sure if you're watching this on a replay, hashtag replay is for real, and stay tuned for next week. Next Tuesday, we will have another episode on our podcast of Tuesday Talks with Miss Clark, LMSW, at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that is the name of the whole show. Why? Because you need to know when and where to be and how. So we are broadcasting live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and of course, YouTube. So thank you all so much for coming out. We love you to life. My name is Michelle D. Clark. I am the Mindset Management Coach for professional women with Lift Nation, where we are empowering women to live inspired, free, and transformed. Take
Transform.
care and God bless.
Yes. Good night.
Good night.